Rolling Stone magazine released 5 intriguing NBA season storylines that do not involve the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is hands down, since the beginning of October, since the beginning of September, my favorite single piece of online writing that I've read in a long, long time. Now, some of these we've talked to, so thank you to Steve McPherson for finding these. Some of these we've talked about. We've talked about Joel Embiid and the 76ers. We've also talked a little bit about a lot about Russell Westbrook's, as he titled it for headline purposes, debut solo album without.
I like it.
Without, because again, go back a couple of years. No James Harden, no Kevin Durant, no Serge Ibaka. It's everybody's gone, right? But the two up top are the ones, and of course number 4 I want to get to as well. Scottie Brooks is the head coach in Washington, and Dwight Howard for the Dwightening are two very intriguing storylines. And I say that because the Wizards have in place John Wall, again, which I've done the Damian Lillard best point guard in the NBA potentially, or is Kyrie Irving, could he be the best point guard in the NBA? Can John Wall become the best point guard in the NBA? And one of the things I mistakenly made a couple months back when I did those clips over the summer was John Wall's 26 years old. He is just in that same prime age. He's going to enter his peak. It's starting to pretty much get to that point. And Scottie Brooks deserves a lot of credit for what he did in Oklahoma City. He was the type of coach who I said time and time again, with his time in Oklahoma, that he can get all the players on the cusp of winning a finals, right? He can develop Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant into perennial scoring threats, 5-tool players, championship component style of play. But I don't think he ever had the creative play calling or any kind of pick and roll schemes, the elements of the triangle that we've seen taken from Steve Kerr's offenses and moved into other places to win you a championship, those big coaching decisions. So Washington needs Scottie Brooks to get to that point. I don't think he's going to win any championships with him, but that's something to follow. Scottie Brooks is a good development coach. John Wall, Bradley Beal, right now there's the rumors that they're not doing so well. Well, the same thing happened. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook reportedly were never doing so well. He might be able to mend that. Marcin Gortat, Otto Porter Jr. had a good season last year. Could he come back and play well again? So the Wizards, or as Ben always calls them, the Bullets, are an interesting team in the West. In the East, they're literally as East as you can get.
Yeah, I love this story. If I could take this story and wrap it up into a nice little package and put it in my wallet and just carry it around with me just to remind myself that there are other things. I just feel like as the NBA season's ready to tip off, I keep saying kick off, is that we're going to be flooded with so much Cavalier storyline, so much Golden State Warriors, even so much Spurs and Clippers, like the usual suspects. But I think this is so refreshing to have an outlook on things that are going to be interesting going on in the NBA season. There's so much movement that happened in the offseason. Like, Dwight Howard is such an intriguing storyline. Like, this is a guy that I was fond of at his time at the Magic, first of all, and he's just such a massive presence and an intriguing basketball player to watch, and went through such turmoil at the Lakers, even more so turmoil at the Rockets. And now it's going to be interesting to see. He's literally given the opportunity to go and make a name for himself again. And not in the negative reasons that we've seen. Right. People can't get on with Dwight Howard. He's complaining about his injuries, which, by the way, they are valid. The guy's humongous. You imagine carrying around those shoulders and trying to move around.
His lower back is not ever been in good shape.
No. And that's a horrible injury to have, especially as a basketball player.
They actually are the worst.
The back spasms. I remember Jason coming in like, I'm never giving Dwight Howard shit again. The back spasms have got me. I was like, Jason, what happened? He's like, I was lifting a 25-pound dumbbell.
15-pound dumbbell.
I was like, imagine being like nearly 300 pounds of just sheer muscle and having to carry that.
I was playing basketball and just landed really wrong.
Yeah, he lands
with the 25-pound
well.
dumbbells in my hands.
So if we can, the other story, which I think is hilarious, but it's also a good one to look at, is you know how much I'm excited to watch the Bulls this year.
The Bulls?
I'm excited to watch the Bulls this year because they have brought in these veteran players that are just never say die attitude. Like Dwayne Wade's like, nah, I'm not going to prove that to everyone that age is a factor. I'm just going to continue to showcase that I can adjust my game so that age doesn't play as big a role as what it should play. Like the way that Kobe went out, he was given the opportunity to just go and do as he wanted to do and as he has done in the past. And despite his 60-point finale, it was tough to watch. Dwayne Wade took the opposite route. Like, I'm not saying he's in the same category as Kobe going out, but Dwayne Wade was like, I'm going to play smart and I'm going to look to benefit my team and sometimes limit the things that I want to do. But then when it came to the playoffs, I'm going to do as I've always done, drive to the hoop, make some random three-pointer. So I think that this is an interesting story where you're like, all right, how are the Bulls going to play with these veteran players and are they going to be able to compete in the three-point game?
I swear, I think the stat is that Dwayne Wade went like 2.5 months without making a three.
Yeah, it
like last season, there's a chunk of last season where he literally did not make. He shot 16% from three last year, which is
and then what did he shoot in the playoffs again?
bad.
He shot.
Well, if again, Russell Westbrook and Dwayne Wade, they're two of the same player in the way that if the game is on the line and they have to shoot a three,
they'll make it.
Oh, they're like 80% with 20
and
seconds
it doesn't
left
look
in the
good
game.
either. It looks like they're.
Oh no!
It doesn't look like they're
heave.
confident, but it just goes in.
And it goes in. But any other point with more than 15 seconds on the clock in a final possession, 16% shoot. They're bad. They're bad three-point shooters. However, by the way, the Bulls also made the most interesting move I've seen in the last 2-3 weeks, which is they're going to trade Tony Snell for yet again another abysmal three-point shooter in Michael Carter-Williams. I only harp on the three-point shooting aspect because it's not surprising. We are completely submerged, your pen is gone, in the three-point shooting era of basketball. Last year, the two of the three teams who shot the most threes made the finals, the Cavs and the Warriors. And the same trend's going to happen this year. Look at the teams that are going to make it to far into the playoffs, make championship runs. The Clippers have a three-point specialist in J.J. Redick. The Cavs re-signed J.R. Smith, who literally only takes threes. The Warriors, I don't even need to explain. Now, I don't know how the Bulls are going to run their offense. I talked about this in the prop bets clip that you're probably also seeing. You saw it yesterday on the channel, or today. I'm not sure which day it's going up. Regardless, Fred Hoiberg's on the hot seat. No matter what, if they don't have if they're not winning 50% of their games by game 30, he's probably fired.
No doubt.
They're 7-20. He's done. He's gone.
No doubt.
But let's also talk once more about the Dwightening because I wanted to read from it because, first of all, the name of the Dwightening is great. We're about to see a very different Hawks team altogether. Long away has been the Jeff Teague, Mike Budenholzer, pass-friendly, poor man's Spurs offense. They are now going to be a low-post threatening type of offense. But what's interesting about Dwight Howard is, well, here's a nice, let's go back to L.A. real quick. Actually, let's go back to Orlando first, where he left Orlando because, in his words, he got too comfortable. Okay. Then he went to L.A., and he said, quote, when they fired Mike Brown, they asked me what coach I wanted. I said Phil Jackson. They said, well, we don't know about Phil, so they went out and got Mike D'Antoni, which was a terrible call at the time. And then Dwight Howard said, well, I guess what I say doesn't matter. Okay, well, a little bit childish there, Dwight. Regardless. So as McPherson puts it in the article, to listen to Howard, the peripatetic nature of his career has been caused by 1, getting too comfortable, 2, not feeling comfortable enough, 3, wanting to find a real team to be a part of, and 4, not being treated as talent like he is. So that makes sense to Dwight Howard, but not really to many other people. So maybe this is the spot. Maybe this is the landing spot. Who knows? If he stays healthy, when he's on the court, he is a legitimate threat. He causes problems for any big man in the NBA. It's just long has it been since his great career at the Magic, a great what if. If Dwight never left Orlando, I wonder what his career would be like. I don't know, maybe the injuries, maybe all the pressure of playing in LA and Houston, obviously having some problems with the Lakers franchise and having problems with James Harden, and now moving to Atlanta. If he never left Orlando, which he'd be welcomed back with open arms, I wonder what happened. But that's an interesting storyline, is Dwight Howard this season. And Kent Bazemore and Paul Millsap.
I was surprised that the Celtics never got a mention in there, simply because, I mean, I think that the only reason it kind of would cancel itself out was because you would have to mention the Cavs, and I know he says these are the stories that are outside the Cavaliers, but the storyline for me is like, are the Boston Celtics one of the biggest threat to the Cavaliers this year? And it really does depend on how they mix well together, whether Al Horford has the ability to do as he can do, whether the Celtics keep that same sort of team chemistry and camaraderie that was so evident last year. It was almost transcendent from their squad that they were all in it together. Like they were out to try, and we were all in it with them.
I had them going pretty far into the playoffs, and then got knocked out in Game 7. But
so the storyline is, do the Celtics go on to achieve what I think the franchise deserves to achieve this year, which of course it's far beyond expectancy for them to go on and win it, or even so to reach the finals, but just to make a good run in the playoffs and show everyone that with the decisions they've made, like you bring in a star center to partner an already growing, ambitious, exciting team, you should be going to at least second round, third round, I think, in the playoffs.
Oh, the Celtics are in the Raptors situation last year.
Yeah, I think so.
What was considered successful for the Raptors last year? They have to make the Eastern Conference Finals, and that was what they did. They were successful. See, I can say it. I can be nice to the Raptors. The Celtics are in the same situation. They have to make the Eastern Conference Finals. There's nothing short of that. Anything short of that is not a failure on the season, but it's literally not successful. And they should. They have all the pieces in place. The Eastern Conference playoffs this year will be very, very interesting when we get there. But we haven't even gotten there, Francis. We have to get to tip-off first, which is tonight. New York Knicks.
0 days.
82-0.
Russell Westbrook days away.
As J.R. Jackson always says with the Rams, he always takes the record and then just adds Super Bowl champion. New York Knicks, 82-0. The only other super
Well, you guys
team
have
in
got
the
an
league.
easy way to kickstart your season, right?
Yeah, we get to take down the Cavs in Cleveland. Are you kidding? 82-0, NBA champions.
So is there I can't remember, you're going to have to remind me, is there like a ceremony? Do you have to applaud the Cavs onto the field?
Yes, onto the field. No, you do have to stand there when they get their banner and their rings.
Yeah, that's what's happened as well.
Yeah,
I wondered if they got it in the first game. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But that must be a great thing to see.
According to Derrick Rose, only one super team is on that court. That is the Knicks. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. @Francis_Maxwell on the Twitter, @JasonRuby91 on the Twitter as well. We'll see you next time.